True Sound Studios is in your ears.
Okay, so today we really get into building the studio. So I actually went ahead and cleaned out the garage as much as I could. There is still drywall in here. We have the heating and cooling system. I got like a big sound system in here that I was using in the house. We just don't have place to move. It's too big. Anyways, it is time to start building the studio. I'm really excited. So the first thing that I went ahead and did is there's two windows in here. Both those windows actually are gonna come out, and there's gonna be no windows in here. There's just going to be a single door to allow you in and out of here, and then additionally a door into the live performance space. So right now I've taken out one window, and now I need to take out the second window so that we can really start air sealing and properly insulating, not only for thermal, you know, trying to keep the warm or cold air in, but also we need to create obviously the soundproofing part, stopping that sound from leaving and then stopping the outside noise from coming into the studio. So this is the window that I went ahead and removed. Really kind of simply, from the outside, I pulled the siding away a little bit, took out the nailing flange, essentially just pulled the nails out. This whole window just pushed right outside. And then what I did is I added another set of studs. So 4 studs all the way around here so that I could take a piece of plywood and nail it from the outside to create like a really good seal. And then we did the 16 on center spacing. Obviously this isn't 16. And then additionally, something I like to do is when I put in these 2x4s, the plywood actually ended right here. So instead of just putting another 2x4 on there, if that 2x4 ever twists, so you didn't have a perfect gap, that is a space for water, air, even insects and bugs to get in. So I just very simply ran 2 beads of caulking of silicone, one on the very front edge and on the back edge, just to really seal that piece of 2x4 up against the lumber so that you don't have that void. Additionally, when I put the piece of plywood on there from the outside, I also siliconed that and then put it on there so that you just create a really good seal. Okay, so now I gotta go ahead and take out this window. I'm gonna do the exact same thing, but this time I'll show you guys what I did with some of that siliconing, just to really try to create this air tightness, because for soundproofing, once again, that's trying to stop the sound from in the studio leaving and the outside noise, as you can hear the cars, from coming in. They say it's kind of like if you were to fill up the room with water, where would it leak from? So if water could leak through, that means air can leak through and sound travels through the air. So that is how we got to stop it. Okay, let's go ahead and take out this window. Okay, so as you can see, I removed the window, and now we're going to go ahead and frame out all this just with another set of 2x4, just so that we can mount our plywood to it to be able to cover up this opening. Okay, and so to do this, we're just gonna very simply take some measurements. So it's 41 3/8, and I'm just gonna do that all the way around here. Okay, and so my method is very simply to just use some exterior silicone and put 2 beads, one on the outside of the 2x4 and on the inside of the 2x4. And if you don't do this, you might find that you can actually see daylight right between these 2 studs. And so now I'm just gonna nail it in place and just keep on going all the way around the window. Okay, so I'm starting to feel like something's happening now. So I finished putting this all together. You can see all the new studs I added on the outside. Added another stud in the center because you generally want to frame 16 on center. Then I put up a piece of plywood, and before I put the plywood on there, I once again put the silicone around it just to seal it in really well. The next stage is to go ahead and seal all the rest of the walls. So I know I just took out those windows, but for example here, I know that plywood is joining on this 2x4, and then continue, there's a new piece here. So there's a good sized gap here. Also, another thing that I've noticed is, I don't know if you can see it right here. See the daylight coming through there? That is one spot that I'm gonna have to, you know, seal up. There's things like that all throughout this space, especially all these new walls that have been framed in and drywalled. These are good, but you know, there's just possibilities for air leaks. I can see some stuff right over here. So this is where we got cold, hot water. We got Cat 5, which is gonna be like a controller for media, actual internet for the security system, and then 4 different power lines, whatever you wanna call it, power running into here. And you can see those big holes. So obviously those holes are gonna have to be cleaned up. And then there's another joint, it's over where our mud room is. And as you can see here, there's this spray foam. Right behind this stud is another stud, but I don't know how well this whole thing got sealed in. I know it's spray foam, but now for another thing as major as those windows, obviously this was a garage and it has storage. So if you see up here, this is like one of those, you know, pull down ladders and you can get up into the attic. Well, that is essentially like one big gaping hole to just let sound, you know, piss right out of there. So what's gonna happen is I'm actually gonna take that whole thing down. It's gonna move to a different part so we can still access that attic, but I'm gonna seal that up and put 5/8 drywall. That's actually what's on the ceiling right now, is it's 5/8 drywall. Okay, so I can't really do too much more out in the studio until all my materials come. Now, I did just go ahead and ordered all the materials. I'm at $6,000 right now, and that doesn't include the actual flooring, the finished floor. And it doesn't really include a lot of the acoustic treatment that's going to go inside these spaces after they're done. It's really just drywall, lumber, insulation, and subfloor. So anyways, to kind of transition this while I'm waiting for that stuff to come in, I've been trying to find a way to get the Presonus Faderport, just a single channel one, to be able to integrate into my Allen & Heath mixing console. And today I finally took it apart, and I gotta show you this because you might wanna buy a Presonus Faderport 8 and an Allen & Heath mixing console to get like the best of both worlds, because I think this is really cool. So let me show you. This is the Faderport. Obviously this is a single channel version. And what I did was I went ahead and took it apart. So you can see back here, this is like the logic board for all these buttons. And then, whoops, that connected to this board. This is kind of like the power and connectivity side of it, also was in there. And then last, this is the motorized fader that was in that Presonus Faderport. So let me show you over here on the Allen & Heath how nicely this fits in. Okay, so here's the Allen & Heath. This is the metal chassis, the frame, and this is the Presonus Faderport, the motorized fader. If you see it, slip it right in here like that. The holes, the bolt holes that hold this in are just off by maybe 1/16 of an inch. So if I just file back / cut back this metal rail here, that's the chassis for the mixing console, just a little bit, this whole fader will fit right in here. I can plug this into the bottom of the fader port, and now I have like a motorized fader on my Allen & Heath. And then you could take this a step further, and if you buy, like I was saying, like the Faderport 8, which is 8 channels, you could have 8 channels built into your you know, analog mixing console. Now, you would have to find a way to have the analog faders in here, because this is strictly a digital fader, but you know, just a great way to be able to retrofit a mixing console like this to you know, kind of bring it up to today's standard. So I think that's just a really cool way to be able to add that, you know, digital control to the DAW into a mixing console without really making it too complicated at all. Now, I think I'm probably just going to do that single channel, mainly because I don't want to have to lose 8 faders, because I still want the other 8 channels and blah, blah, blah. We'll see. As of right now, I think I might just do that single channel, but we will see. Who knows? I change my mind every day. Anyways, so behind me, I got all the studio gear unpacked. So I figured just show you guys a little bit of, you know, all the stuff that's sitting out here right now. So let's start with the outboard gear. So here we got some of the DBX compression, all of my DBX 160X compressors, and then also 2 of the 160As on the bottom. Got the DBX patch bay. I actually bought another one of these so that I can patch in all 24 channels on the tracking side of the mixing console, and then I'll buy the other patch bay is for all the analog gear that you have to hook up to it. So I just got these patch cables in. Obviously I need patch cables for the patch bay. Got the Antares Auto Tune up top there. I actually just posted that on eBay. I just don't know if I'm going to use it anymore. Got an what is this? Aphex 4-channel gate. Got the Elisa's Quadriverb. These sonic maximizers that for some reason I really like and can't get rid of. My homemade distortion channel, another sonic maximizer. This is the crossover for my Dynaudios to the subwoofers. And then I got these two. These are the Dolby 360 with the Cat 22 cards in them. And this is what I use for like that vocal trick. Now I think that I'm going to be posting this one on eBay. And what I've done here, this is the mod. The mod has been done, and then what it actually allows you to do is this is a wet dry, essentially a parallel blend, so that you could patch this into a channel and go ahead and just add as much as you want to it without making things too crazy. So, and then last over here, got some more stuff going on. A rack tuner. I got the Lexicon PC MPX 100, another sonic maximizer, this real-time analyzer, 3 more DBX compressors, and then this digital line delay. This is the controller for my homemade API summing mixer. Got a headphone amp. This is actually kind of new. This is the Elisa's Quadriverb. Got the 2 SSL alpha converters. The SSL or the Audioscape, but SSL clone, and then finally the Apogee Big Ben. And then over here, this is where I've been working on the mixing console. And then got the speakers, my main monitors. So these are the Polk Audio, but it's really just kind of like a Polk Audio cabinet now, because I've changed the crossovers, also changed the high frequency driver. Got the Dynaudios on some stands I made. Some of this foam I was talking about, I think, in the last video, and just stuff, headphones, and if you guys follow me on Instagram, this is a 50 record jukebox. Got the phone booth over there still. All my drums, just raw cables for stuff, and just parts and things. So the first of the materials has just arrived. This is all of the green glue. I got 5 gallons. I got 4 5 gallons. And this stuff is what you put in between the 2 layers of drywall essentially to help soundproof. It's supposed to be pretty amazing. Now, I'm not being sponsored by this company at all, but buyinstalationproducts.com. That's where I got this stuff from. It was $250 for 5 gallons. So obviously I got 4 of them, but most of the other places have it for like $300 for 5 gallons. So I don't know why it's so much cheaper, but hey, if you guys want green glue, get it from there. Okay guys, so this is a big room. Right now, I think it's about 22 by 25. When it's done, there'll be 2 rooms. One will be 20 foot by almost 14 feet, and the other will be 14 feet by about 8 feet. These are 9.5 foot ceilings, and as long as I remember to do these like echo clap tests in here, I think you guys will really hear the transformation. So right now, if you listen to the outside noise, so like you can hear that car going by, you know, it's not like it's loud, but you can hear it. So obviously in the end, you won't be able to hear the outdoor noise, and then additionally, you won't be able to hear any of the noise from in here outside. So I'm just gonna do the simple clap test, and you guys will just hear how echoey it is in here right now. And obviously that's something I'm gonna have to deal with. So yeah, just take a listen. So it's big, it's lively in here. This would be a great place to track some acoustic guitar or drums, but that is not really what I'm doing in this space. It's primarily a mixing space, so this is far too live of a room. And that's one of the things we're gonna have to do, and that'll obviously be towards the end of this entire process. So another thing I wanna talk about is this big L-shaped hallway on the opposite side of these two walls here in the studio. That kind of creates that airlock just as another way of kind of stopping the sound from leaving. And that I have pre-wired. I have some mic inputs down here, and I have a speaker up top here. So the plan is to shoot the sound through a speaker down the hallway, and then it'll come down this hallway, have a couple microphones down here, and I'll essentially have my own reverb chamber. I don't know if it's gonna sound good. Once again, it's 9.5 foot ceiling, so it might be cool. So once again, let's go ahead and do the clap test, because I'm probably gonna add some acoustic treatment just to stop that like ping-pongy, that slap back that I don't want. Okay, so this is only one part of that L-shaped hallway. This is about 25 feet long. Once again, the 9.5 foot ceilings. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is bring it down to the other end. And this is the end of the L-shaped hallway. So I'm gonna go all the way back and down here. Hopefully it doesn't sound bad. In the end, you know, if it doesn't work out, well, you know, it was only a couple mic ties and a speaker wire that I ran, so not too big of a deal. So now, once again, it's just a waiting game. I'm just waiting around for these materials so that we can go ahead and start this build. So next video, all the materials will be here, and we're gonna start framing and insulating and creating floors and floating walls and all sorts of stuff. And yeah, we will start the new True Sound Studios. So thank you for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, click that like button and consider subscribing for more content. So not only do I make YouTube videos, but I also produce tracks, and I can mix and master your music. So once again, thank you for watching this video. I'm Weezna, and True Sound Studios is in your ears.